everyone, and welcome back to the Biochemistry 424 SI Program YouTube channel. My name is Isabel, and I'm one of your content creators this semester. Let's jump right in. Today, we will discuss study strategies to succeed in biochemistry. We will discuss active study strategies and ways to change your learning to support the volume of information. This class can definitely feel like a lot, and we want you to succeed. Biochemistry is different from most other classes that you've taken so far at UF or elsewhere. There's a lot of information being thrown at you from the class, and it can be easy to fall behind and feel overwhelmed and discouraged with the content. This feeling is totally normal, so we are going to share some ways on how to overcome this. The first step to effectively succeed in this class is to be upfront with yourself about what is and what is not working. Each professor's practice problems simulate their exam-style questions, and these can be a good progress check to see if your habits are working. You do not have to wait on an exam grade to fix study habits. This can and should be done on a weekly basis. Do not be afraid to explore new things. We recommend watching this video after every exam if your study habits are not improving. Maybe you'll find a new study habit to try out. This is a 4-credit upper-level course. Apart from going to class to be successful, you should be spending at least 9 to 10 hours weekly outside of the classroom studying and reviewing material. Biochemistry can feel like a memorization-heavy class, and students often feel like they have to memorize everything from class verbatim. The difference between an A versus C or B student is conceptually understanding concept rather than memorizing them. Professors will be transparent with what structures and pathways need to be committed to memory. Test questions that students most often struggle with often have to deal with understanding the material, not just memorizing it. To successfully understand material, an A student will actively study rather than passively study. Passive studying is the process of consuming information through merely reading or listening. Active studying is the processing of information by engaging in the content through discussion, analysis, synthesis, problem-solving, reflection, questioning, and practice. These are some examples that our SIs have done in the past to help ensure their learning habits are active.
My name is Jess, and I'm going to be guiding you through these study habits. The most important thing that we can stress is to be present in class. This means listening and engaging with the concepts being presented. You will most likely be presented with an unfamiliar topic each day, so we recommend skimming through professors' lecture notes before class. This doesn't have to be a tedious process, but the goal is to prime yourself with the material. Priming is the process in which we use a mental framework to organize and understand unfamiliar material. This can be as easy as opening up the Canvas app and reading lecture material 10 minutes before class. This way, complicated topics will not appear as foreign to you during class, and you'll be in a better position to understand them in lecture. There's a difference between going to class and being present during class. Some things that our SIs recommend for note-taking is as follows. First, make sure you have access to your own copy of lecture notes. This can be physically or electronically. Everything that you need for the exams will be presented in class, but it will not necessarily be written on the slides. Having a copy of the lecture notes that you can physically interact with allows you to ensure that you are not taking notes on information that's already on the slides. If the professor emphasizes material, we recommend that you put a star or highlight over their notes to revisit the topic later. With unfamiliar information, students feel the need to jot down everything the professor says as they present the information. We recommend first listening and then taking notes on the important information. This way, you will understand what you are writing down. This is an active process versus passively writing the notes. If you are scared of missing information during class, that's totally okay because guess what? Biochemistry offers so many resources for additional learning. If you are struggling with content, we recommend going to office hours with the professor to ask questions or present any confusion that you have. If you are looking for one-on-one help, we recommend visiting the walk-in hours that our SIs host. This is tutoring that will give you a chance to see additional practice problems and a chance to ask any additional questions about the material in lecture. For after class and all of these additional resources, we recommend actively reviewing the notes to keep up with the material on a daily basis. It is so hard to cram all of this information before the exam, and it can be easy to fall behind. Remember, we recommend at least 9 to 10 hours a week outside of class. Actively keeping up with the material will ensure that when the time comes to study for the exam, you are studying familiar material, not learning it for the first time. We recommend that you start studying for the exam 2 weeks before the date. Some of the best ways to study, again, we can't emphasize this enough, is to actively recall the material. Active recall is an effective study method that retrieves information from your brain. During active recall, you force your brain to recall the information you wish to master. This process will ensure that you save the information in your long-term memory. For example, this is a concept map representing the immune system. Concept maps can be useful for condensing information into a small page that focuses on overarching concepts rather than details. Being able to draw out a concept map from memory is a great study tool for information retrieval.
Using spaced repetition is a great tool for cycling content until it's mastered. Spaced repetition is a studying technique that increases the time in between your reviewing sessions. The easiest way to do this is by forming a system, such as using Flashcards, Anki, or Quizlet. This is a strategy that keeps you accountable for reviewing and is a great cramming prevention tool. Repetition can also be useful in terms of regularly attending professor or walk-in tutor hours. Typically, high-yield material will be covered in depth pretty often at these sessions. We encourage that you use as many resources available to you to ensure this gets accomplished. We would like to remind you that you should also be reviewing topics from the beginning of the exam content time period. Meaning, come exam time, you should be fluent in the material needed to succeed from the very beginning of the chapter. If you find that you are struggling with a previous chapter, we suggest that you should not move on until you've mastered the previous material. Another great way to study is by teaching others, or just teaching to yourself. It's sometimes known as the Feynman Method. After studying for a bit, put away all your notes and resources, and then try to lecture out the topic from square one. If you fail to recall something or explain it well, make a note of it and revisit that topic later. If you find that your level of comprehension is that of explaining to a group, or at a simple level, such as someone who has never seen the content before, you have mastered the material. This can especially help if you exercise the Feynman Method in a study group, since you can get the perspective of what may also help others learn. After understanding the material, practice exams are a great way to test and see if you've mastered the concepts. Do this without any notes to test your understanding. It's okay to feel discouraged after practicing. Getting questions wrong just means that you have created a personalized study guide for yourself. Review every single question and answer choice regardless if you got it right or not. Make sure to understand why every incorrect answer is false and why every correct answer is true. Reviewing these concepts are important because if they're on the practice exam, they're likely to also appear on the real exam as well.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe so you can be notified whenever we post a new video each week. As always, we look forward to seeing you in the next video.